welcome to the match reaction show on Talkin Kop. Getting used to this new title. It's me, Chris Bragg. It's him, Kev, and it's him, Matt. How are we all doing, gents?
Very good. Very good.
We can
relieved. So it finished Liverpool 2, Everton 0 in quite a lackluster Liverpool performance, but quite frankly, you win the derby, so who cares? I believe, Kev, that's now our 99th win against our blue brethren, which is always nice. And Alisson has now kept as equaled a new record, I believe. It's 4th clean sheet in a row against Everton, which is the first time that's happened since Ray Clements in the 70s, who went on to keep 9. So, long way to go, but still.
Yeah.
So let's kick off then. Lineups. Matt, what were your thoughts on the lineups? Any sort of surprise here? Anyone you thought would start, didn't start?
No, I think it was a pretty straightforward one. Really, the only question marks were, would we see the lesser spotted Endo coming into midfield? But I think that three of Szoboszlai, McAllister, and Gravenberch, I think that's what kind of everybody wanted to see. It's certainly what I wanted to see, and that's what we got. The Matip Konate question, I think once Konate's back fit and firing, it's him and Virgil every match. That's important for us. And to me, the only one, and because I went with it in my fantasy, I thought Darwin would get the nod to start the game. Coming off of that performance he had for Uruguay, first victory over Brazil in pretty much Darwin's entire lifetime. He was all over the place. I don't know if you saw the highlights from that Uruguay-Brazil game, but Darwin looked lively. So I thought Jurgen would just let him go, and he did not. But I thought Jota did well. So that's a strong 11. The bench a little weaker,
understandably. Kev, you okay with the lineup?
Yeah, it was kind of the lineup that I picked out the other night, apart from Ibu. I thought Joel Matip would have kept his place, to be honest. He's done nothing. He's done nothing to not keep his place, and we'll get on to that later on. But yeah, look, it's a nice option to have. I didn't think that Darwin would start. I just thought the way the game was going to play out, you're not going to get much space to play in behind. The fact that Diaz, I honestly thought that Diaz and Darwin would share the 90, and what you'd have seen is maybe on the hour, Darwin coming on, Jota going out to the left, and Diaz just given the 30 minutes off. But the circumstances dictated changes.
I think it's Mr. Canale sort of influence.
Yeah,
we will come.
Yeah, look. But I looked at that 11 and I thought, look, that's well good enough. There's enough quality in that side to comfortably deal with these lot.
Well, we thought that, Matt.
I was really relaxed.
Well, we thought that, Matt, and within a minute, if we're being honest, Calvert-Lewin should score. It's a great cross. He gets up ahead of Virgil. To me, I think he needs to do better with that. I know it's early in the game, but that feels like roles reversed. If that's Darwin doing that, we're all going, that should be a goal. Or at least working to keep it. It was quite a soft start, but a bit of a wake-up call and let-up for Liverpool, if we're being honest.
Yeah, having them get a shot on goal within 36 seconds of the match starting is a bit, that's especially when you're getting up at 7:30 in the morning. I was definitely awake by the time that happened, but it wasn't like it was a free header or anything like that. Like, it wasn't a on a plate opportunity like, say, Cunha's chance when we played Wolves after the last international break. Virgil was there challenging with him, put him under enough pressure. It looked like Virgil just went up a little bit too early and didn't win the header. Calvert-Lewin, we know he's good in the air, but this is what happens when you got the best goalie in the world, that it looks like absolute regulation save. And then that was their only shot on target for the whole game. They got their first shot on 36 seconds, and then they didn't test Alisson for the rest of the 98 minutes.
I'll be honest, mate, up until halfway through the second half, he felt a bit like that as well. But Kev, so as the half built in, we started to see, flashes from the likes of Gravenberch. He's thinking, I can't see why Bayern let him go, because, he linked well. There was a lot of nice interchange where quite often you saw sometimes McAllister in the 6th, then you saw Szoboszlai in the 6th, and McAllister went more on the right side of midfield. It's got quite a lot of interchange. Trent first off was very, very central. That was deliberately a ploy, which I assume was to overrun their midfield. And to be fair, with his passing range, it was doing well. But I thought we covered not having him at right back a lot better than we have done in the past.
Yeah, look, I just looked at the way after that first chance, and Dominic Calvert-Lewin should score 100%. That was just a brilliant leap. He timed it well. He was coming onto the ball. He should have headed that ball back where it came from and buried it. It was an awful miss, to be honest. and we made them pay for it eventually. But it was one of those games. It was one of those first halves that was almost threatening to break out into a decent game. We were never not in control of it. We always looked lively on the counter. Couldn't get the final pass right. And I think a lot of that is down to almost like, in boxing, you call it ring rust. It was just they haven't played together for a while. And this is a new midfield, different forward line. They're still learning how to release the ball, when to release the ball, where to release the ball on these counters. But they have to work on it because we could have had 4 or 5 in that first half and we didn't work Pickford anywhere near enough at all. While we dominated the ball, we didn't do anywhere near enough. The only chance that we had, the only shot on target that we had in the first half was McAllister's shot from about 56 yards that was just a bullet and it just didn't move. And I think that was the problem with the shot. Normally you see shots like that coming from that far out, they move in the air. This one didn't. It was gun barrel straight and it was right at Pickford. Pickford spilled it.
Yeah.
But it was like, but it was one of those that while we were dominating the ball, I felt we just didn't do enough with it. We weren't threatening enough. And, it's something that we need. I thought we started well. In all fairness, if you look at the previous games that we've had this season, we've been lackluster in the first 20 minutes. We've been off the pace. I thought we started really well, despite giving up probably the best chance of the game, in the first 36 seconds. We played really well in the first half without the end product. So I was kind of relaxed that it would come, but everything changed.
Do you think Dyche's tactics played into our hands? Because I'm so used to derbies at Anfield where Everton park the bus, don't leave the half, celebrate a corner, and look to do a smash and grab. Nothing wrong with that because it has worked for them, to get draws and all that. But
once
it played into our hands. The amount of times we could hit them on the counts, the amount of times we had a 4-on-2 or a 4-on-3, and I think it was the frustration of the entire game was. Diaz, Jota, and Salah, between the three of them, were just crap. Absolute crap. Garmack, does this make up for the heartbreak of the women's? No, it doesn't. No, I'm still raging. I'm still absolutely raging over that. So I'm not sure when I'll get over that, to be honest. I don't get over the derby defeats very well. But yeah, because let's talk, Matt, we'll talk about Ashley Young because we had a half. So he puts in an absolute, give him his credit, as much as we can criticize Diaz for the time he took, a goal-saving block on Diaz from the counter. It's a brilliant block, and you're thinking like, that's what Ashley Young does at full-back. I mean, I was surprised he started at right-back, to be fair. I thought he was going to be the left-back to cover Mo because he's normally done okay against Mo. But then we have the 2 yellows, so I'll give my opinion and I'll let you guys think yours. The first yellow is, he sticks his leg out, it's yellow. Sometimes you get him, sometimes you don't. I hate this bollocks that, it's a derby, let it throw it to foul. The second yellow to me is just like Jota's against Tottenham. Is you're on a yellow, why throw in a dickhead tackle like that? It just looks ridiculous. So, I didn't get the controversy. They were going on and on about it. To me, they were just 2 standard yellows by an experienced player who lost his head and maybe hoped he'd get away with the second yellow. How did you guys see it?
Yeah, I mean, it was a bit heart and mouth just because of our recent dealings with the members of the PGMOL. When I saw the second, the first one's just a yellow card. It's a standard yellow card. To be fair, because I know some of the Everton fans, I was reading a bit of their subreddit at halftime. They were a little upset that Simicast, for instance, hadn't picked up a yellow card. He probably deserved one for some persistent fouling throughout the first half. So that's maybe Pawson dropped the ball there. The first one was just a straight yellow card. And then on the second one, Pawson delays, and it was like, he has to go. I am screaming at the TV, like, he's got to go. That's just a yellow card. And I think it's really, really clever play by Luis Diaz because he gets his body in front. He gets his right foot on the ground. He establishes position over the ball. And Ashley Young, by this point, is already sliding in for the tackle. I don't see how there can be any debate about it. I've got the reddest tinted glasses on possible. I'll happily raise my hand and admit that I am biased for it. I would be fuming if the shoe was on the other foot just because we've had far too many red cards this season. But that's one, much like Jota's, where you just have to go. what are you doing? Like, especially a player that's got 38 years experience in the Premier League, like Ashley Young, like he has to know better. So no debate over that one. It was just the wait for Pawson to produce the inevitable second yellow.
Kev, did you think he was going to produce a second yellow?
Yeah, I just thought and he did it a few times in the game where he gave himself a second to make decisions, be it for free kicks or for bookings. The first one, whenever you give a foul away like that, where you stick a lazy leg out, preventing a counter attack, you're going to get booked for that all day long, every day of the week. And Luis Suarez made a living out of getting players booked by doing exactly what Luis Diaz did, by getting his body between him and the ball to attract the foul, to take the hit. You know exactly what he was doing. It was excellent wing play. And Ashley Young is a brain-dead idiot for falling for it. He was going nowhere. All he had to do was hold his ground. At worst, you're going to give away a corner. But you're on a booking. You have to know better. And it was ridiculous. But at the end of the day, I didn't think them going down to 10 mattered, because it just meant that they were going to be less effective. You know, they weren't going to have that option of going long and maybe having a 2-on-2 at the back, you know, in their favor. I just thought they're still going to put 8 men behind the ball, and you're just going to lessen their threat going forward. But defensively, it wouldn't make a blind bit of difference to how they were shaping up to play the game. They were still going to be there to say, you know, break us down if you can. You know, so the fact that it was a red card, I don't think mattered too much in the way that they approached the game. They were as negative and defensive before the red card as they were after the red card. It's just that the longer the game goes on at 0-0, the more drive they're getting to throw themselves in front of tackles. There was another incident in the second half where, because you texted me about it, Tarkovsky gave away a really cynical foul just on the edge of the box, and he didn't get a yellow. Yeah. And to be fair, I can see why because the argument is, why didn't he get a yellow when Ashley Young got 2 of them for different similar?
I thought it was because he stopped him getting a shot off. He's not last man or anything like that, but it's goal scoring opportunity.
It's one of the. I just think it's one of those. If it's given, fine, you take it and you get on with the game. If it's not given, I don't think you're humming in hand because of where the ball is on the pitch, where the foul is, and it was a genuine intent to play the ball. He just got done. So I wasn't too worried about it. In fairness, I thought Paulson had a decent game, but we'll get to the other incident in the game later.
I have a question for you, Matt. Kev, you stay quiet because you know the answer to this.
Yes, sir.
So Andrew Beasley, Liverpool statistician, said Ashley Young gets sent off for 2 yellow cards against Liverpool in the league. Is the first opposition player to be sent off in the league for 2 yellow cards since who?
Probably Dixie Dean. No, I do know the answer to this.
You do know it.
Sadio Mane for Southampton in 2017 or something like that.
2015 is the last time an opposition player was sent off for 2 yellows against Liverpool. That's mental, isn't it? You know, 8 years, is that?
It's mad when you think about how much of games we dominate the ball.
Yeah.
When you think about how much of the games that we played under Klopp, do we dominate the ball, do we attract fouls, the players get booked against us. It's a mental stat that it's never led to a second yellow. It's unbelievable, really, when you think about it. You know, it's different.
Yeah, exactly. It's so easy to get a yellow now. I mean, of course, we've seen it.
Yeah, we've been on both ends of it now, in fairness. You know, we've been on both ends of it. But it goes in 0-0 at half time, and I'm sat there like, we ain't doing enough here. You know, while we're dominating the ball, we're controlling the game, and there's some players that are looking for the Hollywood ball, and
Hollywood shot was doing my head.
Yeah, and it's like Pickford hadn't the lick to do apart from one save in the first half, you know, and booted long. That was it. You know, I thought we're gonna have to pick this up here in the second half. You know, I always felt that there was a goal in it, that there was going to be a chance that would come, but at 0-0 in these type of games against any side, we're down to 10 men. We've had enough experience of it this season where you can still make yourself really defensively solid and tough to break down. And if they felt any kind of injustice in that sending off, it makes it that much harder. And it looked like we just weren't on it. We weren't at the races at all.
Thor has just got some breaking news for us. Breaking news is now Liverpool 1, Everton 0. The PGML have confirmed that Mo Salah was offside and Konate is now going to get a ban. So, it's all tongue in cheek, but you know what? I had to go and check Twitter just to make sure. Chris Golding is saying, am I late for talk about Supercast? No, I haven't mentioned it, to be fair.
I mean, he probably deserves. I think he probably deserves a mention because
I thought he was all right.
I know, but it just feels like so many times where we were trying to build the play up, the ball would go to Simicast and the move would just sputter to an end. And it didn't really matter because I thought our defense played well in the first half. I thought the midfield looked very lively. I thought McAllister looked much better compared to the last time coming back after the international break. And I mean, Gravenberch and Szoboszlai, their ball control in the middle of the park is just outstanding. But our attackers were so poor. And at halftime, there wasn't even a question to me. At the half, so far, man of the match was Mykolenko because he put Mo Salah in his pocket. He played so well against Mo Salah. Like a couple of really, really good tackles. And a difference between the Everton fullbacks, between Ashley Young, he had his one good tackle that he made, but then gets himself sent off. And Mykolenko dealt really well with Salah, I thought.
Yeah, I mean, I thought Onana was really good for them. Defensively, I thought, he's what we need. You can record this. To be fair to Simicast, which is a phrase you probably never hear me say, I always felt that every time we got the ball to him in the attack, we kept playing it behind him. So he had to cut it on his right foot. And he's always going to cut it back because that's not he's just not right. But to be fair, neither is Andy Robbo. Andy Robbo's not got a right foot. I never felt we were really putting many chances where he can step across and whip across him, which is, if you're going to play to his strengths, it's set pieces or give him enough space so he can whip his crossing. And to be fair, every time we passed the ball to him, it was slow or it was behind him. And, he can't do what... If it was Trent, it's fine because Trent can do it on either foot. But, there aren't many players like Trent Alexander-Arnold. So, to be fair to Simicast, I actually don't think it helped it. I mean, a few people say he's barely played in 90 minutes in 3 years. Well, he hasn't, but he's a professional footballer. So, he still knows what he's doing. And
he plays plenty of them for Greece.
And that's partly on him to get himself in the squad, push himself. But to be fair to Simicast, I thought he was all right first half.
Yeah, he was fine. And that was the problem. That was the problem, like you said, that was the problem. Nobody decided to grab the game by the scruff of the neck and say, "Look, here, I'm going to do something." I was just counting them up there. In the first half, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We had 7 shots from outside the box, and 4 of them were like well outside. And
I mean that Trent one at the edge of the box where he volleys it. I mean, that would have been goal of the season if it goes in. But we did it too many times, and that's quite easy to defend against after a while.
Yeah, it was just one of those things that I wanted Costas to overlap Diaz even when it was 11v11, just overlap him, go around him, get the ball, put something in the box. Joss is very good at finding space. He's very good at being in the right place at the right time, and he's good in the air. And we just didn't get. He got a couple of crosses in, a couple of decent crosses, but it's something we never did. We never did it enough. And I mean, it is what it is. We go in halftime 0-0, and so Did you think that Klopp should have made any changes at halftime, or would you have made any changes at halftime, given the fact that we were against 10 men, or would you say left it as it was for 10-15 minutes and see how we manage it?
Matt, what would you have done?
I personally, at halftime, I wanted to see Darwin come on for Alexis McAllister and us go to some form of 4-2-4 or 4-4-2, because it just seemed pretty obvious that Everton's only way of posing any threat to us was going to be lumping the ball forward to either Calvert-Lewin or when the inevitable change and Beto came onto the pitch. And I just thought putting Gravenberch and Szoboszlai at the base of the midfield together with their height and their aerial ability would be better than McAllister, because as much as he's, struggling growing into that number 6 position, he can't get taller. Like he's not going to get better aerially. So I thought that would be the thing to do. And I was just excited to see Darwin again because he was in my FPL team, and I figured he would be good for a goal. But it just seemed like at halftime, we've got the man advantage. Let's put the foot on the throat. Let's come out and let's just crush them. But surprisingly, to no one, no changes at halftime for Liverpool.
We very rarely do it though, as well, Kev. I suppose the only thing is it Delvin wait to see because maybe he's looking at someone like a Gravenberch going, well, he hasn't got who's got 90 minutes in the legs, and maybe Gravenberch was going, well, he's probably still not quite ready because obviously he's barely in the pre-season. He's saying, I'm going to have to take Gravenberch off soon anyway, so I want to give him 10 minutes to see what he can do. But I'll be honest, Kev, the first 15 minutes was, I think the technical term is dog shit, where nothing happened. It was just like, this is horrific. This is worse than the first half. I thought it was. No. I just thought we were slow. It was pedestrian. You're going, I don't see what's coming here. I was screaming after 10 minutes, probably like that, get Darwin on. And if I'm honest, I actually think the sub out, which I openly admit wasn't expecting, was probably the best sub of the game, which was Harvey Elliott.
Yeah. To me, Harvey coming on made the most sense of it. I didn't think we were dog shit, let's be honest. I thought we were dominant without being penetrative. And that's what Harvey Elliott, Harvey Elliott gives you that. And you're bringing him on to work in the spaces. As soon as they went to a back five, there was 3 in the middle of the park. So that's where the space is between the right centre back and the wing back and the left centre back and the left wing back. The space is in front of them. So you can draw them out and make space in behind. Someone like Harvey Elliott is very good at that. And I thought it was the exact substitution that was needed at the time because you needed someone to make space. And when he came on, I thought his touch was brilliant. He was getting the ball, looking for others, bringing people into it. And he upped the pace. He made us move the ball that little bit faster. And I was happy to see him. I was happy to see Darwin come on as well. But I was more impressed with Harvey and how he played and how he changed the game because he did. He changed the way that we were playing and how we attacked the game. And the weird thing was I was looking at it saying, you said it to me, who's playing at left back? And it's like
Diaz, the new left back. Tell you lads, it's the future.
Who needs fullbacks? Fullbacks are overrated anyway. Should we move all of ours into the middle of the park anyway?
The funny thing was, Kev, me and Kevin mentioned it. I said, is that Diaz left back then? And he went, no, we're going to a back three. And I messaged him, I said, we've definitely gone to a back three. I said, Trent's playing right wing. So we just got to a back two. I've gone,
2 at the back.
2 at the back and we'll be right, you know. Yep. And let's be honest, we take our red tints and glasses off. We got away with a big one today. I think 100%. Ibu Konate is a very, very lucky boy. First yellow is a silly yellow. You know, doesn't need to foul him there. You know, you can let him turn and go after him. And the second one, that's probably quite similar to Ashley Young first, is lazy leg, tries to pull out, doesn't. If it rolls reverse, that's against us. We're calling blue murder for that. To be fair, the Blues, I think, have the right to be quite annoyed with that. I think that's the point we've been trying to make for a while about the VAR and the officials. It's a lack of consistency because, to be fair, it's either both go off or both stay in the yellow. What do you think?
I mean, I don't think it's comparable to compare Ashley Young's second yellow card with the Ibu Konate potential second yellow card. I think there's levels.
His first yellow, Young's first yellow, and Ibu's non-second yellow, I think are very similar fouls. That's what I mean.
Yeah, I don't know. Seeing the replay of it, it's like a slight arm-to-arm contact. It's not like he's pulling him down. It's not a totally egregious foul. That's the sort of foul that you see not given as a yellow card throughout the game. I think Tarkovsky's foul on the edge of the box was far more of a foul than that was. You know, denying a shooting opportunity from the edge of the attacking box on a yellow card, not a yellow card. So they could, I mean, if we're having this, you know, theoretical conversation, they should have been down to 9 men. And then we go down to 10 men and we still got a man advantage. So it's all this and that. I didn't think it was, I mean, obviously the Blues are going to be booing their heads off and keeping Abo awake all night complaining about this. I don't think it was that much of a howler from the referee. They're going to be upset, rightly so. We would be, again, if the shoe was on the other foot, we would all be screaming bloody murder. But that's what happens in a football match. I don't think this is one that Howard Webb is going to need to drive down to Goodison and give an apology for. Like, it's just, that's the sort of foul that you see not given all the time. Rodri's made a career off of it. Fernandinho made a career off of it. I don't know.
Kev, how do you see it? You actually ran the Twitter poll. Sorry, not Twitter, X, whatever it's called now. You ran the poll on X. I don't know what to call the X.
Yeah.
Yeah.
59% of people who follow Talkin Kop said it was a second yellow and he should have gone. And I don't know what the fuck the other 41% were drinking, because that's as straight. That was a dictionary definition of a yellow card. You prevented a counter attack. You knew exactly what you were doing. You were in a bad position. It was borderline stupid what he did, and he got away with it. And you can tell a mile away that he got away with it because Klopp hooked him within a minute. He was straight off down, go and sit down, grab your coat, sit down, have a drink, relax, watch the end of the game, and let Joel Matip come on and see it out.
Which is also a combination of good management, mate, and brilliant needle. Because also saying to Sean Dyche, we know as well, mate, we're going to take him off now. Mate, we know.
I'm telling you, if that was against us, I'd be going to my local electrical shop this afternoon to buy a new TV, because I had a horse to remote control through it after the season we've had so far. He should definitely have seen a second yellow. He should definitely have been sent off. No doubt in my mind whatsoever. He absolutely got away with one. I just think down the line there'll be payback for this one, where he will pick up a booking for something that's never booking in a million years. The referees tend to have a way about that, but I think Poulsen got that one badly wrong. And I think it was playing on Poulsen's mind how many times we've been done badly by referees.
Possibly,
and I think that he just thought, no, I'm not going to be the guy who does this. And sorry, he got away with one. We got away with one. We take our little bit of luck. Klopp hooks him straight away, and I thought Joel Matip, when he came on, was outstanding.
Yeah,
so he was absolutely, because he would never have expected to have to come on. If that foul doesn't happen, that substitution doesn't happen. Ibu Konate stays on and does the 90.
Joel, that's twice though that that's happened to him, isn't it? He's had to come on.
Yeah,
come on in early game, early than expected.
Yeah,
I think Sam Tanley makes a good point as well for us, Kev, which is Klopp's got his tactics right second half, in my opinion. Overload on left-hand side of the pitch with Diaz and Jota and Nunes centrally. To be fair, the manager subs made the difference again, and we've all been critical of Klopp's substitutions over the last year or so, because sometimes they've been a bit odd or haven't quite worked out. But look, with two subs he brings on, Elliott makes the game quicker, Darwin gets an assist. He hooks a centre back straight away. He thinks about to get sent off. Then the fourth one's just a sensible sub, which is, we're 1-0 up. I'm going to put a proper defender on now, and I'm going to take my winger from fullback. But we've got to give the manager credit again, because he's done really well for us.
Yeah, he got it right. Again, as you look, he's got more of these wrong this season, I'd say, than any other time in his Liverpool career. Something that's always been leveled at him about his changes, that he either leaves it too late, or he's very. I think people are under the impression Klopp is this adventurous manager who goes out for leather. He's not. He's a very conservative manager who he's risk averse when things are going with him. That if you're dominating the ball, he'll trust the players who are on the pitch to do something up until the point where the medical staff or someone else intervenes and says, yeah, you can only play X player for X long. Mm-hmm. But I think he's come away from that this season, where he's not afraid to make changes on the hour and give players enough time to come into a game. Thought he was really good.
I mean, maybe
the subs that he made.
Maybe, like I said, maybe that's the reason he's also got the options to do it now, which maybe last year you were looking at who he's bringing on going, well, it's not really better than what we've got, really. What we're going to do. Maybe that also helps. I remember this is without Gakpo, which I think we're all hoping to be on the bench, which shows how far off he was. I mean, fingers crossed, hopefully he's fit for Toulouse, maybe. So
yeah, he should be.
Question for Kev, who thought that the Ev were absolutely robbed of a man being sent off. Did you think the foul by Patterson on Diaz was a penalty? Because I did.
Yeah, I did actually. And there was another one. There was another one as well. The one where Onana goes flying over the top ropes. I thought that the fact that he went in over the barrier distracted from the fact that
how out of control he was.
Yeah, I honestly thought he fouled. Yeah, I thought that was more of a penalty than the other one. But I definitely see the shouts for the Onana one. I mean, luckily enough, that just as well he was okay, because that could have gone sideways. Concrete is very unforgiving, and he's a big boy. He actually, in fairness to Everton, he played really well today.
He's good
because he didn't start last week. Their last game, he was on the bench. I thought he was probably arguably their best player with Braithwaite. What's his name? That centre back, the big 6'5" yoke.
Braithwaite.
Yeah, is it Braithwaite?
I think it's Braithwaite.
Braithwaite, yeah.
Oh, Braithwaite,
that's it. But yeah, I just I thought, that they could have given another one, definitely, if not two. But the one that they did give,
it's the most obvious. It's the most obvious pen you've seen all season.
What's he doing? What is he doing? Like sticking his arm out there. It's like he almost said, "Here, there's my arm. Can you hit it?" It's like, yeah, I can. Watch.
Yeah.
I don't get it. What goes through a defender's head in this day and age with video assistant replay, with VAR, and why? Why do it? It was ridiculous. But, the referee on the pitch has to give it. That's why he went to the monitor. And as soon as he sent to the monitor, it was like, yeah.
Sam Sandy goes that's brilliant. Onana thought he was in WWE flying over the top rope in the Royal Rumble.
Anthony Doyle and Keane thought he was Pickford, just with longer arms.
I know. Yeah. The other thing I would say though is, and it's annoying me with, this general commentary, the state of commentary is the commentary I had was like, oh, it's never a red card. Well, it is, but then they would ballistic over Canate, which they wouldn't shut up about. Oh, it's not a penalty. That what's he supposed to do with his arm? Well, it's not supposed to be out there. If it's because they had one in the first half again against Keane where it deflected up and it hit his arm, hit his hand, and his hand's by his side, and you and me, Kev, both went, "No, it's never.
You never get that.
No, never.
You literally had to cut his arm off. That where he was there, you can't stick your arm out like that. That's the best pen most took in about a year. What do you reckon, Kev?
Yeah, smashing. Pickford didn't know whether to stick or twist because I think everyone was trying to get a look at that water bottle at the end. At the end of the day, Salah was just sat in his lonesome. Nobody went near him. He's put the ball down. His mind was already made up, and it was a proper pen. It was an excellent pen. And the guy just keeps breaking records. He's equaling records. He's breaking them. He's
overtook. He's now overtook because he got second. He's now overtook Kenny and Gerrard, I believe.
And Gerrard, yeah.
5. So it's just only Matt.
That's a steamed company.
I know. Matt, be honest, if you were for Liverpool, would you be telling the ball boy nick his water bottle just to see if he'd get away with it? Or peel the sticker off?
No, let that small bird-brained idiot have all the notes that he wants. Look at what he did. He just stood there. I'm surprised he didn't just sit down like Onana would have for Man United. But I gotta give a special mention to Scouser Pete from our Talkin Kop Telegram group. When Keane came on at halftime, he said Michael Keane is going to have a fucking error in this game, and he nailed it. They showed the replay of that when Pawson got called over, and they showed the still image, and you can see his arms out, but it doesn't look bad. And then they showed a second angle that really gives you a gauge of the distance, that he's the second defender, and his arm is so far out. Yeah, it was absolutely lovely because it was coming. Like at that point, it was coming.
I still don't agree with the ref going to the monitor. It's the video assistant referee or technical or TV referee, whatever you want to call it, what they call other sports is. The point for them is to say to his ear, penalty, you've missed it. What? It's handball, Keane, give it. And he just gives it. That's what it's there. That's what they're there for. This whole this is all for TV and make it look dramatic, because I think I've seen twice someone go to the monitor and go, oh no, I'm sticking with the decision. Very, very, very rare.
Do you know what it is? And it's simply football trying to hold on to old traditions and afraid to let things go. And this notion that they want to keep Premier League football, Champions League football, Europa League football the same as Sunday League football is an absolute nonsense. They play by the same rule book, but it's not the same game. And at the end of the day, if you want to speed the game up, that's how you speed the game up. None of this nonsense about throw-ins and goal kicks. That's they already have rules for that. Just implement the rules of what they have. At the end of the day, it's things like that. That was as blatant penalty as you're ever going to get. You don't need to run across to have a couple of replays to confirm what you've just been told in your earpiece. But at the same time, I want to hear what he's been told.
I think that's the only difference they need to give is TV the audio, and I think we'll do it in the Women's World Cup, which is there's a button that the ref press which connects the tongue and just says penalty number 5, and then whether you agree with it or not, we can all still have the debate, which is what football's all great for. But you know what's given on the pitch. It also is very, very clear because then you can't, as some people think we do, find a rule that fits the crime. You know what I mean?
Foul.
Yeah. Foul.
Yeah, no.
Because sometimes they get the right decision, but not the right reason. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
But listen, it's a brilliant penalty, and then I think it's before the 9 minutes of added time, which is just wild. To give Small Arms his credit, he makes a brilliant save against Harvey Elliott. It's some hit.
Yeah,
I think Harvey Elliott's not scoring this year. He's just had one of those seasons where he's doing everything but the goal because it's a cracking hit, and I would have subbed off a really good cameo.
It's Harvey Elliott. Again, Harvey Elliott comes on. I mean, everybody that watches these shows regularly knows that I'm quite a vocal supporter of Harvey Elliott. I think he's going to have a great career for Liverpool. But I'll hold my hand up and say in the games that he started, especially the last game against Brighton, not been the best. But coming off of the bench, he has been such an impactful substitution for us. And like I think anybody in the Liverpool fan base, unless you have a real personal hatred against Harvey Elliott, can have any issues with him being in that first draft of substitutions. Because somebody said there when he came on, he just upped the pace of the game. I think him being left-footed changes just the angles and things like that come along. He seems to have a really good relationship with Trent and Mo. All that is very good. So yeah, it would have been great for him to get that goal. But I mean, the way the second goal comes, we were due that as well too. There was, I mean, between the penalty and the goal on the counter, we had plenty of opportunities in the box where, on another day, a slightly more rash challenge leads to a penalty. It seemed like we were always going to get a penalty. And from about, when was the first one? 10 minutes in, we had our first counterattack from one of their set pieces. And we broke like vintage old 4-3-3 Sadio Mane, Mo Salah Liverpool. And we had so many times where Everton brought their big Gronks up from the back for a throw-in or a corner. It went right into Allison's hand, and 2 seconds later, we had a 4-on-2 or a 4-on-3 or a 5-on-3 going the other way. And it was just perfect that the goal came from that. So, yeah, it's disappointing that Harvey couldn't have put that one in. I don't want to give Pickford his credit, but they lost. So, yeah, give Pickford some credit for that save. It was a good save. Right in his short hands.
We're going to talk about short hands now, aren't we, Kev? Because, 97th minute, I believe it is. Everton have a corner, hit on the break. Darwin does really well. Darwin's getting really good at this count. I think Diaz and Jota should watch Darwin because he's quite good on the counter, picking the player to score. And then Mo's finish is just like, you've got little arms. I'm going to put it just that inch that you can't reach, which is not very far, really. He's just like watching. It's almost a toddler trying to stretch for you. Like, he's just never going to get that, is it? And that was it. There, you're like, nice and relaxed. Well, there we go. Nice finish.
It's my absolute favorite type of Liverpool goal. Said it for years. I love those counter-attack goals. We're so good at it when we get it right. Darwin last year takes that shot on himself. His pace on the ball is frightening, and his composure to slow himself down, and Mo's composure to stay on side, and the ball into Salah was perfect. That was absolutely brilliant centre forward play. That was outstanding. That goal was all Darwin Núñez. All Salah had to do was slot it, and lovely finish. All that. Darwin deserves so much credit for that goal because, like I said, 12 months ago he's taken that in and he's having a shot on his weak foot. Where he doesn't have where he didn't have the confidence that I'm going to be the main man, or I'm not sure of my place within this team yet. He's turning into he's having a brilliant season so far. I think on and off the ball, with and without the ball, his decision making, composure, outstanding. And even when he came on, the runs he was making in between the centre backs to split them, there was a couple of times that the pass was just under hit into him, but he's still making all the right runs. It doesn't work, he'll do it again. It doesn't work, he'll do it again. He'll keep doing it. And eventually it pays off. Like with that counter-attack, he was exactly the right person to be on the ball. And love that goal. Love that goal. And Matt was right with the start of it. We absolutely deserved it because we were so dominant on the ball. And all of the measurable stats that you look at, Barsh, efforts on target, we completely dominated that game with V10 and V11. It was just a case of finishing off, and that was the cherry and the icing of the cake. Because look, at 1-0, you're a set piece away, you're a bad deflection, you're a mistimed pass away from conceding and being 1-0.
Won the shot. That one.
Exactly, and that can happen. They still had threats on the pitch that could cause us problems if we messed up, if we got one wrong. And that's all it takes in games like that. As long as it's 1-0, they're still in it. But it was a brilliant way to finish the game off.
The other depressing thing is, I don't see them going down at Kev. Do you? I think they've got enough to be
I don't.
better than about 3 or 4 teams in that league.
Yeah,
which is also quite annoying.
The only problem they might have is apparently the hearing for the FFP stuff is happening this last week. It started this week. That could come that could haunt them. Plus, I think they've issues with the potential new owners as well, not declaring all of their paperwork that they need to bang in. I think that's personally going to be an absolute disaster for that club. But it depends on what happens with the financial fair play stuff because on merit, I think they'll stay up. I think they have enough in that squad to stay in the bottom half, no problem. But
what's
at
worse
the end of the day,
what's worse than a point deduction or a transfer ban?
Point deduction, because I think that they're good enough to. Yeah, I think they're good enough to finish 16th or 17th, but not by enough. If they get docked 9, 10 points, something like that, they'll go down. Like I think the three promoted teams that came up are fucking garbage. Like they're bad. They're really bad. I mean, Bournemouth's up 1-0 currently, so that's a big result for them because they also look like they're going to struggle pretty badly this year. But I think Everton will survive, but like skin of the teeth or a second layer of skin of the teeth sort of thing. So a points deduction, and they're done.
Yeah. No, look, some of the other games that are going on at the minute, just keep everyone updated.
Anyway, lads, just so you know, Brighton are doing their standard City away performance, which is they normally get tonked about 4-1. So
they're 2-0 down. They're 2-0 down to City at the minute. Newcastle are 1-0 up against Palace. Bournemouth 1-0 up against Wolves. Dom Solanke goal. The other 2 games are 0-0. So
if at the start of the season we said after 9 games you'll be a point behind City, you'll be all right. We've all gone fine, cool. I'll take that. Yeah. Even if we need to go back to 4th and we're actually a few more points off top, you go like but as long as we're ahead of. As long as you're in and around City, you're in and around the title hunt.
And we still got to play him. So.
Yeah. So, I'm all right with that.
We're all right. We're man of the match.
Yeah, hardest question.
I know the obvious one is more because of the goals. I thought Virgil was brilliant. I thought we look rock solid. Dominic Calvert-Lewin had that chance at the start. Other than that, he never really got a clean head on the ball for the rest of the game. And Virgil was always the outlet to switch play and to move it around. I would have given it to Virgil. I thought he was really, really good today.
Yeah. Matt, who would you have given it to? It's quite a tough one, this, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I think I'd give it to McAllister, actually. I thought he did enough. He did exactly what I want him to do when he's playing that 6th position for us. He was tidier on the ball. He's getting better at trusting the players around him. It's a real tough one. I mean, obviously you give it to Salah. You know, the TV companies are always going to give it to the guy that scores both the goals. But I was really happy with the way he performed because, again, the last time we had this fixture after the international break, he was dreadful. So I was very happy with that. But it could have been anybody, and it probably should be nobody.
Yeah. I think I'm with Kev. I think I might just probably just edge it to VVD. But special shout out to be fair, Harvey Elliott, who I actually thought was the game-changing sub, to be fair to him. I thought he was really, really good. But probably it's Virgil, who's, again, looked back to his best. I mean, I think you, me, Kev, were quite impressed where Ibu underhits a pass and you saw Virgil open his legs and actually, keep up with Calvert-Lewin and put it behind for a corner. So, well, we weren't seeing that last year. We were all concerned going, doesn't really do that very much now. And he simplified his game a bit. He's gone back to, if I need to put it in the crowd, I'm going to put it in the crowd. I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm not going to try and be clever.
Sometimes... 3 or 4 times he did that, and it was very lovely to see. Not being too cute, just kick it into the 30th row, reset.
Which is spreading to Karate and the others where they're going like, I'm going to put it out. And if I can't put it out, it's going it's going long and down the line. It's miles away from my goal, and I'll worry about it later. Sometimes just be a bit more, a bit humble, sort of going like, I'll put out for a throw in now. I'll worry about throwing.
Yeah. Simple thing, Rob. McAllister's distribution or receiving the ball in spaces was really good. Alisson's ability to take the ball, not under pressure, but attract enough pressure to create space for others in front of him. And his ability to move the ball past the oncoming player and find someone in the middle of the park, not out wide. The amount of times he gets the ball and finds McAllister, who's coming back into position, he just does it time after time after time, and you'd think sides would read it, but they just don't. He's a special keeper. He's a special kind of goalkeeper. We don't appreciate how good he is as our goalkeeper because we can't bear the thought of what's going to happen if and when he decides to go, because he's that much better than everyone else. That you look at other parts of the pitches like this. There are midfielders out there. There are defenders out there who can defend. Forwards, you'll always find goal scorers if you look and you pay the money. He is, without doubt, the best keeper in the world. And the gap between him and the rest is only getting bigger.
It's what the word generational. It's what the word generational is used for, Kev. He's a generational keeper. He's the best of his generation. In 20, 30 years, we'll look back on this period of the Premier League and European football, and at the end of it, it'll be Alisson wearing the crown as the best keeper from this time of football. He's just spectacular, and he's so damn handsome. It's not fair.
Something to tickle Kev there.
No, but this is just literally just said to me, I wish you loved me that much.
tell us to be a good goalie for Liverpool and we'll be sorted.
That's right. Or have small Hungarian feet.
It was nice to get the clean sheet at the end of the day as well. When you think about it, it'll get lost in everything else because they were down to 10 men and what have you. But we defended really well and kept a clean sheet in a derby. 2-0. Performances, I think someone said it very early in the chat. Performances don't matter a jot in these games. It's all about 3 points. It's all about the result. And you hope now that this is the part of the season where performances will come. It's all about the 3 points now. It's all about keeping pace with the sides around you. And if someone makes a mistake, you're there to say, yep, I'll have that spot. And once I have it, you're not getting it back. Yeah. So,
this 4-game run
mounting 3 points now.
This 4-game run now until the next international break, which I can't believe we're going to wait for another fucking international break. This is where you do points. This is the point accumulation points, isn't it? Because they are on paper games where Liverpool have no excuses. You're playing. We've got Forest, haven't we? Next, got Luton and
Brentford
at home. Brentford at home and Forest at home. We have good records against
home against Toulouse.
Yeah, and then 2 games against Toulouse. And if we're lucky, if we beat Toulouse on Thursday and I think the other 2 draw, I think actually then we're mathematically top of the group then. So actually we could actually be sat there or pretty close, or we need a point you know,
Yeah.
with
You
3
can't
games.
finish top with 9 points with 3 games remaining because another team can get 9 points.
But I think we're at that. But I think it goes in head-to-heads as well, and the head-to-heads is too good. So we could also almost be fully qualified in the European group before the international break, which does take a lot of pressure off. Because my concern is we can't ask Simicast to play all 7 games because we wouldn't ask Robinson to play all 7 games. To be fair,
this is the question I wanted to ask you guys. What did you think of Joe Gomez at left back? Because I thought he did surprisingly well.
He made debut there.
Yeah, he started his career there, but the other side of it is he wasn't asked to do anything.
No.
He wasn't asked to do anything in a defensive shape. He did what he was supposed to do. He was an outlet for that left-hand side. Anyone who's right-footed playing at left back will always have to chop back onto their right foot. It's just the way it is, and that slows the game up. But at the same time, he knows the position. He can come in and do a job there. I mean, I'll be honest, I wouldn't be playing him at left back in the Europa League games. I'd be using him at centre back or right back, and maybe give Jarrell Kwanzaa a go there, or one of the kids, maybe Chambers, a go there. I wouldn't be. I just think that. Yeah, I just think that you can't take the risk now of between Simicast and Joe Gomez that one of those two picks up a knock. So I think if Joe Gomez is on the pitch, Costas shouldn't be anywhere near it.
But then who plays right back? If you're on Trent and you've got Gomez on the pitch covering for
this is where you have
Curtis
might have
Jones.
to use Endo.
Might be.
No, well, yeah, there's that. Or you've got Endo who can do the odd job, who can do a job there. You got to think you're hopefully only doing that for the Europa League and
that's what I'm talking about. League Cup.
That's 3 at the back. We do 3 at the back. We
can never do 3 at the back.
Yeah, 3 at the back. That's what I'm talking about.
Oh God. Can we just do Diaz left back? Because sure, it's just for shits and giggles because it was quite good fun. And to be fair, he won the penalty for playing left back. So can we do that?
Yeah. Well, we're not going to play against the Ev every week. Some of our opponents might actually be decent football teams.
It's 3:30, and you two are on the sauce already.
Yeah. Well, it's 10:30 in the morning, Kev. If you can't drink at 10:30 on a Saturday morning, when can you?
Good point.
Right. Are we all done? Anything else you want to do before we go?
No, Chris Golding, Matt, you're timed out. No, I think we're done. I mean, what are you guys planning for the rest of the day? What's going on over your side of the Atlantic?
These 3 o'clock games are garbage. That's one of the most missable 3 o'clock time slots that I've seen in a while. But I'm really looking forward to that Arsenal Chelsea game. I think it's going to be a doozy. I think it's going to be a doozy.
So I'll watch that, and I'll probably watch England get battered in the rugby because I think they will.
Yeah,
because they've got battered in the cricket, so it's go.
Do you know what? Straight up, I haven't watched a single game of that Cricket World Cup. Not one. No interest whatsoever.
I think I saw about six games.
All I know is that the Dutch beat South Africa, baby, and I married into a Dutch family, so we're all Dutch cricket fans now. And Afghanistan beat England, and that's the best thing in the world. Nothing better than when England loses.
Comfortably, to be fair.
Yeah, I just look at it now. I've got the days of me getting up at 6 a.m. to watch cricket are just done. And I want to watch the Chelsea game. I'll watch the rugby later on, but I want to watch the UFC as well. So that's my Saturday.
The UFC's on a reasonable time this time.
Yeah, exactly. It's on at a decent time, so I might watch a bit of that as well.
No 6 a.m. finishes, which is quite nice.
Yeah. No. I'll watch a bit of all. I'll catch as much sport as I can today, to be honest, and take a chill out day tomorrow. I'll be honest. The game tomorrow. Who is playing tomorrow? And that'll tell you how much I actually care.
Villa West Ham.
Yeah, so I'm going to be I might actually watch the American Formula One. No, I won't even watch that. Do you know what?
That's a late one. That's a late one for you guys. I think that's on prime time.
Yeah, it is a late one. There's just I've got no interest in that either.
I'll probably watch the women's game because I think we're away to West Ham. So hopefully they bounce off from the Derby defeat. So I'll be watching that on the FA playoffs.
Packers versus Broncos tomorrow at 9:30 p.m. for you Irish lads in the American throw catch football.
That might not be a bad game, to be fair.
Shouldn't be bad.
But basically, a full weekend of sport is what we're doing, isn't it, really?
Pretty much.
You know it.
Pretty much.
And then the guys will be back. I'm sure there'll be a show on tomorrow. I actually don't know what show's on tomorrow. But I'm sure there will be one. So, like, subscribe, all the good stuff, and keep an eye out on all our social media stuff. And Kev, you were social media king today, weren't you? Running the Twitter account, winning the goals and all that. It's good fun.
I did it. I enjoyed it as well. So if you're not following us on Twitter, it's at Talkin Kop. Get following us, and we've got to start putting out a lot more stuff on social media as well, polls and quizzes and questions, all that lovely good stuff.
Cool.
But yeah, just looking forward now. It's always nice to have the weekend. That's the only bonus about the weekend. You have the early kickoff. You get your 3 points, and you can sit back and watch everyone else, hoping that someone's gonna slip up somewhere, and you can rip the piss out of their fans for the rest of the week.
Plus, also, it's nice for us to actually put pressure on teams in and around us. So, Arsenal now, I mean, they probably knew you had to beat Chelsea. There's more pressure on them. And Spurs have got to wait till Monday. I mean, I think they've got Fulham, so you'd expect them to win. But, at least puts the pressure back on teams to react, which is quite nice. Right, but on that happy note, it finished Liverpool 2, the Everton 0, which is always lovely. And on that happy note, we'll speak to you all very soon. See you later.